Why don't you take a load off? Join me in the shower.
I can't. It wouldn't be appropriate.
It's just a shower, Jeremiah.
I can't.
Suit yourself.
The bathroom door clicked shut behind Jeremiah, and for a long moment he leaned against it, chest rising and falling fast. Steam still clung to his skin, the heat of the shower not yet gone, but it wasn't the water that made him tremble. He stood there with two folded towels pressed to his chest, still warm and damp, as if holding on to them might keep him steady. He could still feel Abraham's eyes on him, could still hear the lust in his voice. He told himself it was only teasing. Just Abraham drunk, grieving, reckless. And the worst part wasn't Abraham's invitation. It was that a part of him had wanted to say yes. The rest of the day moved strangely quiet. Jeremiah kept busy with Malachi, washing bottles, folding clothes, sweeping dust from corners the renovation crew had left behind. Abraham stayed in the shadows, drinking less than usual, but saying even less. That night, Jeremiah lay awake in the guest room. The house creaked and settled around him, a sound he'd come to know too well. Every shift, every sigh of the boards reminded him that Rebecca should have been here instead. That none of this was supposed to be his. And yet, he was here. He closed his eyes, whispering a prayer he barely believed he deserved, asking for strength, not just to raise the child, but to guard his own heart. Monica showed up with groceries in one arm and a stack of folders in the other, her voice carrying through the house before Jeremiah even opened the door. "You hiding from me, boy?" Jeremiah smiled faintly, Malika balanced against his chest. "Just been busy." "Busy," she muttered, brushing past him into the kitchen. She set the bags down with a thump, eyeing the bottles drying on the counter and the laundry piled near the stairs. "This ain't busy. This is drowning." Jeremiah shifted his weight, quiet. Monica turned to face him fully, her gaze sharp. "You think I forgot where you came from? You were 10 years old when that deacon laid hands on you. I watched you turn to the streets, to dope, to anything that could numb it. I remember your mama calling me when you broke into her house. I remember standing in that courtroom when she begged them to send you to rehab." Jeremiah's eyes dropped. Malachi stirred, his small hand gripping Jeremiah's shirt. "You came out of that place clean, and you fought hard for it," Monica continued, her voice softer now. "Your mama asked me to give you a chance. You worked like hell to prove yourself. You found your faith again, made your vow, and I've been proud of you every day since." She reached out, touched Malachi's tiny foot where it dangled from Jeremiah's arm. "But this, carrying a house, a baby, and a broken man all on your back, that's how people slip. That's how old ghosts start knocking." Jeremiah lifted his gaze, steady, though it trembled at the edges. "Those days are gone, Monica. I left them behind. Ain't nothing in this world that's gonna drag me back there." Monica studied him for a long moment, then sighed and pulled a jar of baby food from the bag. "I believe you, but promises don't keep you fed, Jeremiah. Let me help where I can. Don't be too proud to let somebody carry you a little." Jeremiah nodded, rocking Malachi gently, his thumb brushing the child's cheek. "I'll be fine." But long after she left, her words lingered, as heavy as the vows that had shaped his life. Monica didn't knock this time. She walked in with the ease of someone who'd known the house before grief made it heavy, her bag slung over her shoulder, her voice carrying straight into the kitchen.
Jeremiah, you here?
"I brought more diapers." Abraham appeared from the living room, a drink in his hand. His eyes narrowed at the sight of her. "Didn't I say you don't live here?" Monica froze for a heartbeat, then squared her shoulders. And didn't I say somebody needs to look after Jeremiah before he works himself into the ground? Abraham's jaw tightened. That ain't your place. She stepped closer, unafraid. And it ain't yours to sit back and drink yourself sick while he does all the work. That baby cries, he gets up. That house needs fixing, he lifts the hammer. You vanish until it's time to pour another glass. Abraham's eyes darkened, but his voice stayed low. You don't know me. Oh, I know enough. Monica's tone was sharp, but her eyes softened with something like pity. I know grief when it turns a man mean. I know how easy it is to hate what's left because it ain't what you lost. And I know Jeremiah better than you do. He don't deserve the weight you're laying on him. The silence stretched, heavy as iron. Malachi's cry cut through from the nursery, and both of them turned toward the sound. Jeremiah entered with the baby in his arms, sensing the tension, but saying nothing. He looked between them, then down at Malachi. Monica's gaze stayed locked on Abraham. Step up, or let him go. But don't you dare keep him chained here carrying both your burdens. She brushed past Abraham on her way out, her words hanging in the air like smoke. Abraham stood rooted in place, his grip tightening on the glass. He didn't respond to her. He couldn't. There was nothing he could say. Sunday morning light slanted through the stained glass, painting the pews in soft colors. The choir's voices rose steady and sure, filling the sanctuary with a comfort Jeremiah had leaned on since he was a boy. He sat near the front, Maliki nestled in his arms, the baby's small breaths syncing with the rhythm of the hymn. Around him, church mothers smiled, whispering about how sweet the child was, how much he looked like Rebecca. Jeremiah smiled back politely, but his mind wasn't settled. Monica's words kept replaying, step up, or let him go. When the sermon began, he bowed his head, trying to let the familiar cadence of Scripture wash over him. The pastor spoke of endurance, of running the race set before them, of leaning not on their own strength, but on the Lord's. Jeremiah wanted to believe it was meant for him, but Monica's voice pressed through. This ain't busy. This is drowning. His eyes drifted to Malaki, asleep against his chest. He thought of the long nights, the unending bottles, the house that felt like a tomb some days. He thought of Abraham, haunted and half absent, and wondered how long he could keep carrying them both. A deacon passed down the aisle, nodding at Jeremiah with a warm smile. Doing the Lord's work, son, he whispered. Jeremiah nodded, though the words sat uneasily inside him. Was this the Lord's work, or had he mistaken his own stubborn promise for God's calling? The choir began again, voices rising. His eye is on the sparrow. Jeremiah closed his eyes, clutching Malachi closer. He prayed for strength, yes. But for the first time, he also prayed for clarity, for a sign to know if he was truly on the path God intended, or if he was only burying himself under a vow that was too heavy to keep. The house was quiet, except for the clink of glass against the counter. Jeremiah came in from the nursery, just in time to see Abraham tilting a bottle, amber liquid splashing into a glass. Really? Jeremiah's voice cut through the silence. Abraham glanced up, his expression guarded. It helps me sleep. Jeremiah stepped closer, Malaki's faint cry still echoing in his ears. No, it doesn't. It keeps you stuck. Every time you pour, you choose that bottle over your own son. Abraham's jaw tightened. Don't preach at me. I ain't preaching, Jeremiah shot back. His chest tightened, his words sharp and trembling. I'm telling you the truth. I know what this does. I know what it takes from you. Abraham frowned, confused. What do you know about it? Jeremiah's voice dropped, ragged. I was 19, Abraham. strung out on crack, selling everything I had just to get another hit. My mama didn't even trust me in her house. I should have been dead by 20. The words stunned the air still. Abraham's eyes widened, the glass in his hand forgotten. He stared at Jeremiah like he was seeing him for the first time. You? His voice broke with disbelief. Jeremiah, I crawled out of that hill once, Jeremiah pressed on, steadying himself with the words. By God's grace, I did. And I swore I'd never go back. But I'm not about to stand here and watch you drown yourself the same way. Not with that baby asleep in the next room. Abraham's throat worked, but no argument came. His face cracked under the weight of grief and something deeper. Rebecca wouldn't want you like this. She'd want you to move on. Move on to what? To your life. To Malachi's future. Maybe even another wife. That's the last thing I need. You need somebody. Yeah, I do. Abraham's gaze locked onto Jeremiah's, steady and unflinching. The weight of it made Jeremiah shift where he stood. Abraham took a slow step forward, then another, closing the space between them. I need you, Jeremiah. Jeremiah's throat tightened. I'm right here, he answered, voice low, uneven. Abraham shook his head, his tone cutting, softer, deeper. That's not what I mean. Before Jeremiah could react, Abraham closed the distance. His hand caught Jeremiah's waist, and suddenly his mouth pressed hard against Jeremiah's, desperate, trembling, tasting of liquor and grief. Jeremiah's whole body jolted in shock. His pulse spiked, his breath caught, and for one stunned instant, he didn't move. He hadn't seen it coming, not from Abraham. Then sense flooded back. He shoved against Abraham's chest, breaking the kiss, his hands trembling. Don't, Jeremiah whispered, his voice raw. His chest heaved as he put space between them. Abraham's eyes searched his, wild, pleading. I can't hold all this alone. Jeremiah shook his head, grasping at words that could steady him. You don't want me, Abraham. You're just needy. You're hurting. That's all this is. The silence that followed was thick, heavy with denial and truth tangled together. Jeremiah turned, his feet carrying him toward Malachi's soft breathing down the hall. Clinging to the child's presence like a lifeline, Abraham stayed behind, rooted to the kitchen floor, staring at the untouched glass. His lips still burned with the kiss, and he couldn't decide if Jeremiah's words were a mercy or a wound. Jeremiah sat alone in the nursery long after Malachi had fallen back asleep. The rocker creaked softly beneath him, the dim light from the lamp casting long shadows across the walls. He cradled the baby close, though Malachi no longer needed it, the rhythm of his small breath steady and unbothered. Jeremiah clung to that rhythm as though it could drown out his own, but it couldn't. No matter how many times he closed his eyes, he felt it again. Abraham's lips against his, rough with whiskey and grief. The heat of it startled him still, the way his body had betrayed him for that one stunned instant. Jeremiah whispered under his breath, the words almost a chant. He don't want me. He's just needy. He don't know what he's doing. He said it again, firmer, like a man warding off temptation. It ain't real. It's the liquor, the loneliness. That's all. His hand tightened against Malachi's back. When the lamp flickered, he bowed his head, whispering a prayer he couldn't shape into order. Lord, help me. Keep me steady. I made a promise. I won't break it. Not for him. Not for this. But as soon as the words left him, he felt the sting of guilt. Wasn't helping Abraham part of the promise too? Rebecca had trusted him to stand by, to raise his child with the father. And yet all Jeremiah could feel was the pull to run, to save himself from the weight pressing in from both sides. The house creaked as Abraham moved upstairs. Jeremiah stiffened, every muscle taut, until the footsteps faded into silence. He rocked Malaki once more, steady, until the child sighed and turned his head against Jeremiah's chest. But even as Jeremiah whispered another prayer, the taste of whiskey and the ghost of a kiss lingered. Shadows he couldn't pray away.